But okay, right. So let's do this. Okay, so this is a Mari Potpourri. No, words are failing me today, I believe. This is a Mari Elli run, as requested by chat. Or as chosen by chat, I suppose. So yeah, so as I kind of said a few minutes ago, Elli is the only classic route girl. So there's a new route for all the girls, which basically involves shipping duplication. So shipping duplication is essentially being a glitch that allows you to ship items over and over again. It's quite a precise glitch, but it's a very easy way to make a lot of money. And the reason why that's not actually part of the Elli route. And the reason why Ellie's the only girl who hasn't had this change made to her speedrun is basically because Ellie's birthday is so early on into the game and into the year of the game that there's basically no like easy way to do it, or there's no like, it's just not what's the word? Words are just failing me today. This isn't the word I was thinking of, but it's basically it's just not fast. It's not yeah. Yeah, there genuinely is a word that I'm thinking of, but I don't know what it is. But it's just not fast. It's not as fast to do it because so basically for Ellie, if you wanted to do shipping duplication, you wouldn't be able to go to the horse race festival, and duplicate necklaces or earrings that sell for 2,000, because for her regular birthday you would have already passed it, or for her alternate birthday you'd actually get the money on her birthday, so you'd be going into it with basically no items, no rucksack upgrades, no house upgrades, nothing. You'd be able to get like the first one, but then you'd basically you'd run out of items. So you'd only be able to give her like 16-ish like presents that day, unless there was like another way to get like more items on that, like basically an infinite amount of items that she loved on that day. You wouldn't be able to. So then there's the option that you can use. You can do the glitch on an earlier day. So for example, being the goddess festival on spring 8th, so you'd get the money by the 10th. But then the problem with that is if you're not getting a necklace or a bracelet or an earring from the horse race festival, where they ship for 2,000, basically the next best item you can ship, the next most expensive item you can ship is a large fish, which sells for 200. So you have to sell 10 times as many. And if you don't want to bother with the look of trying to catch a large fish, then you have to sell a blue grass, which only sells for 100. So you'd have to do twice as many as you would large fish. So yeah, so basically, in short, Ellie's birthday is so early on into the calendar that you can't do any form of like feasible shipping duplication and have it still be fast. So that's why we still use animal exchange, which is basically what we used to do with every other girl, but then every other girl became faster. And I did just realise I probably should have saved I should have gotten rid of all of my extra save files going into this, but oh well. Okay. Intro is so wholesome. It is. The intro is very wholesome. Oh my god. Right. So yeah. So this starts up quite a little bit different. Basically, this run will go a little bit differently to other girls' runs then, because so the main thing that changes, not doing shipping duplication, doing animal exchange instead. That's essentially how we make our money. So our entire money making method in this run is different. So instead of just making, just sleeping until the horse race festival comes up, we're going to do a bit of foraging because I want to buy a cow. And I want to buy a cow so that basically I can clone it many times and then sell it many times. So in order to buy a cow, I need 6,000 G. So I'm making about 350 a day. So it's actually going to take me quite a while to get all the money that I need. But luckily, Animal Exchange allows you to make money through time travel. So what I'm able to do, that save that I made going into Spring 4, that's a little bit important. Well, the fact that I made it so early is quite important. So I skipped the first 2 days where Thomas tries to show me around town, and I skipped the day where Harris comes and lectures me about a dodgy fellow. And I don't need to see those cutscenes. But yeah, so the great thing about Animal Exchange is basically you make the money through selling animals. And because of that, I'm able to trade it. I'm able to send my animals to a file that's a little bit earlier on in the run, in terms of the game's calendar. And yeah, and that'll be quite useful. So yeah, so you might be intrigued by the fact that this split is called start second file. So I'll explain why I need a second file, and I'll explain the entire thing of Animal Exchange whilst the intro is playing again. But for now, I just need to be able to afford a cow. But yeah, if you're unfamiliar with this game, or you're unfamiliar with the speedruns, or just anything, you want to know what's happening. So marriage runs have kind of two main factors of them, two main parts. There's befriending the girl of your choice and getting the second house upgrade, which gives you 2 beds, which you need in order to get married. So those are both the main requirements for getting married: having the girl of your choice on a red heart or 60,000 points of affection, and having the second house upgrade, or the 4th upgrade in total. So in order to do this, obviously we need to befriend our bachelorette of choice, who in this case is Elli. So we need a lot of items, a lot of gifts for that. But we also need a lot of money for all the expansions, because we also want to cut a couple of corners, and instead of chopping all the wood that we need for all the expansions, if we make enough money we can just buy it. We don't need to buy all the wood that we need for all the expansions. So yeah, so as I've explained, Animal Exchange is how we make all the money in this run. And I'll explain exactly what Animal Exchange is in a short while. So yeah, so how do we quickly befriend the bachelorette of our choosing? So the way we do that in this game, and in these runs at least, is basically, okay, So you get an item that the character loves. So, and that is worth 500 points. That would be worth 500 points. Now, in this game, you can give them multiple items, and every item after the first is worth a little less. Not every time, like it doesn't go lower for each item. But so the first item you give, your first loved item you give a girl will be worth 500 points of affection. And then every item after that they love will be worth 300. But what happens is, if you wrap up the item that you're giving them and give it to them on their birthday as a birthday present, then it's worth 5 times the amount. So the first item of the day turns from 500 to 2,500, and the second item, and third and fourth and so on, turns from 300 to 1,500, which is still 3 times as much as, you know, the first gift of a regular day is. So basically what we do is we collect like a bunch of items that we can give to the girls on their birthday, and then we get them wrapped at the supermarket, and then we just keep on giving them gifts, and we give them about a little over 35. I think 37 is the amount that you wanna be giving. We should work like that, right? Yeah. I mean, yeah, life would be so much simpler if you could just go, hey, I heard you like bamboo shoots, here, have some, and they'd be like, oh, I do, I love bamboo shoots, and you could just keep doing that. Eggs boiled in bathwater and used bathwater, that's you know that like that girl that was selling her bathwater and people were buying it for whatever reason. That's like the next step up. Eggs cooked in that bathwater. So I think, what was her name? Belle, if you're watching this, free idea. You know what? Send me the first one, and then that idea, you can have that one for free. Eggs boiled and used bathwater. That is certainly something. That's the thing though, if you boil it with the shell on, which I think you have to boil it really, otherwise you're poaching it, I think. Yeah, and then when you take the shell off to eat the egg, all the dirt has gone away. You're right, maybe I shouldn't be giving these ideas away for free. I should be like, I don't know, how much would be like a decent percent? I wonder how much money she actually made from that. If I had like a percentage of it, if I said, you know, you can sell, I give you, you know, hit the idea to sell boiled eggs in the bathwater, but I want like 20% of all sales from the eggs. I mean, just that whole, like, just everything about that entire, event, I suppose we'll call it. It was just like, I mean, everything about it was stupid. The fact that it happened, the fact that like she was selling it, but then the fact that people were buying it is like probably, I'd say, almost worse. Everything about it was just ridiculous. How much money do I currently have? 2,600. Okay. Yeah, so because of how much money we need in order to buy a cow, we're actually going to go a little bit further. We're like actually going to pass Ellie's birthday. But we're going to use the power of time travel to fix that. As I said, the fact that that save that we made at the beginning is going to come in handy with that. Yeah, I mean, if people want to do that and spend their money on something stupid like that, then they go right ahead. You know, it's not my money. I'm not spending it, so people can spend their money on weird things. Yeah, so yeah, we're going to harness the power of time travel. Like this run is actually amazing. We're harnessing, you know, unlike, you know, the runs that use shipping duplication, where, you know, oh, we're just duplicating items. That's not interesting. This one's got cloning. It's got time travel. It's got parallel universes. Like, this is where it's at. And none of the characters in game question it as well, which is perfect. I don't want them questioning it. I don't want them asking questions they're not ready for the answers. Doctor Strange is nothing compared to this. Yeah, every time I go back to Elli with a new like set of presents, Elli, I've come to bargain. Exactly. Luckily, though, we know exactly, like, you know, we I suppose we got telepathy. I think it would be. We can, you know, we know exactly when she's ready to accept the proposal. We just have to give her a lot of gifts. We don't have to like propose over and over again. That saves us a little bit of time. Thank goodness for that. Okay, I thought I had forgotten something very simple for a second. I was worried Ellie's birthday was going to land on a Tuesday. So the reason why I wouldn't want Ellie's birthday to land on a Tuesday is because the shop is closed on a Tuesday, which would mean I wouldn't be able to wrap any presents. It looks like it's going to land on a Monday. Okay, 4,000. So not that long left. So we'd actually be able to afford a sheep now. And sheep have like a couple of benefits over cows, but not many. So, well, I think they literally have like one benefit over cows, which actually no, they have two. So sheep are cheaper than cows, and you don't have to wait for them to mature. However, the big problem is then because they are cheaper, they don't sell for as much, which means they aren't as useful. So a sheep in this game costs 4,000, and then assuming so in this game we basically sell them as pretty much as soon as we get them. So like their affection doesn't go up or anything like that. So they sell for like the lowest price they can. So a sheep you buy for 4,000 and then you sell for 2,000. A cow you buy for 6,000 and then you sell for 3,000. So I think, well, how does that make you money then? That sounds like you're making a loss, and I would be if I was only selling one. But Animal Exchange allows us to sell multiple. But so even though there's only a 1,000 G difference between selling a sheep and a cow, that 1,000 difference when you sell multiple of them, it does add up. And unfortunately for sheep, it just doesn't line up correct. It doesn't line up well with any of the expansions. So with a cow, if you're selling your cows, you pretty much have to sell like a full barn of them for each expansion. So if you sell 10 of them for 30,000 G, that gives you a little bit left over after the first expansion. Then if you sell another 10 for 30,000 G again, that gives you a little bit more left over from the second expansion. Then if you sell another 10 for 30,000 for the third expansion, if you combine that with all the leftovers that you have from the first and second, that gives you enough for the third. And then the third expansion is actually the barn upgrade, which allows you to sell 20 cows, which allows you to hold 20 cows, which then obviously allows you to sell 20 cows. And then selling 20 cows is enough for the fourth expansion, which is the second house expansion, which is the last one that you need. So today is Ellie's birthday. Unfortunately, she's going to get probably ignored on this day. But you know, we'll do it again at some point. This won't be her only birthday. How much money am I actually on? Only 4,7. So there is actually another kind of way where I think if you really wanted to, you could get the money potentially a bit quicker. I don't actually know if it is quicker or not, but so if you want to do, I suppose, a lot less foraging, then what you're able to do is buy a chicken for 1,500 G, and then basically do animal exchange in order to obtain a lot of chickens, and then sell those chickens so you can get the money for the cow quicker. But so because obviously the animal exchange evolves and getting money from that involves waiting for the poultry farm to open twice so that you can buy a chicken and then sell all of them, it's debatable as to whether or not it's worth it. I don't know if it is basically what I'm saying. Because the chickens also don't actually sell for that much, and you can't hold that many at the beginning. So you'd have to do it a couple of times. So you wouldn't even have to wait till 11 twice, you'd have to wait 3 times, I think. Maybe even a little bit more. I think selling a full coop of chickens at first would only, before you get the upgrade, would be if they did all sell for 500, or say each chicken sold for 500, that would be 2,500 total from a full coop. Which, so you wouldn't be far off actually, because, so the interesting thing about Animal Exchange is because of the way it works, any money that you obtain in order to buy the, well, depending on how you do it, the money that you use to obtain the animal, you can actually like keep that. So it won't happen in this specific run, because what's going to happen is I'm going to obtain the cow, start a new file, raise the cow, and then send it over to that second file. And when I'm like doing the cloning process of Animal Exchange, I'll be doing that between my second file and the save I made all the way back at the beginning of the run at Spring 4. So the 6,000 G that I made in order to buy the cow, that obviously won't exist again. But yeah, but if I were to save it, if I were to like save the day I got the cow, I was going to get the cow and trade it back and forth between that file and the new file, then every time I start that day, even if, you know, I could get a cow, but then I still have the money that I used to spend on the cow. And whether or not that made any sense, I don't know. Because this is all just stuff that isn't going to happen in the run. Kind of makes sense, but sounds so broken. Yeah. Basically, it is broken. When I actually explain what Animal Exchange is, kind of the typical reaction to it is just, oh, really? Because of basically the reason why you're able to do what we do. It just is a bit silly. Right, so I need to do a couple more days, so I'm going to be losing a little bit of time here, but it's been so long since I've actually like finished an Elli run, or since like, you know, since I got my PB in Elli, I don't really know what I would have done differently or anything like that. So yeah. But I think it, I don't know, it looks a little bit likely that I'm gonna lose a little bit of time here, like as in like a few minutes. I need to do an extra day anyway, but that won't take long. But yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is what I'm gonna do is gonna save me like loads of time. Oh, I actually have money. I have the money. Okay. Oh yeah, of course, because it wouldn't have shipped on the festival. Right. Okay. I'm only gonna do these ones, but then I'm gonna. Yeah. I'll buy the cow tomorrow, actually. So I'll lose a few minutes here, but I should basically make them back in Animal Exchange. I'm gonna make an extra save just in case I do something wrong or stupid. I'm gonna save it over this one. But yeah, so I'll probably save time in like the next split for all the time I lose here. But I'm also then probably going to skip the next split because I never remember where I actually save for it or where I split for the end of Animal Exchange. Actually, right, so I've got to wait for 10 o'clock for the barn to open, so I'm going to try and like check really quickly. And see if I gotta like find my VOD of it and then my VOD for my Elli run and then find where I split for it. Well, so luckily it wasn't difficult to find, thankfully. Right, so where in it was it? 50 minutes. Okay, so by the looks of it, it's when I sell all of the first lot of cows. Yeah, okay. So I split for Animal Exchange when I sell all of the cows for the first time. So I'm going to buy my cow for 6,000 G. Give it the brilliant name of A, after myself of course. And then I'm going to buy some fodder. I'm going to buy a little bit more fodder. Not age. Well, see, you know what? I think the A is implied. I think technically he'd be A the third. I think because A Junior, I suppose, would be my dog. Unless we're counting the farm, we're adding the farm into the equation. In which case, I don't know whether the dog or the farm would be A Junior, and which one would be A the third. But then the cow would be A the fourth. Hey Eludra, how are you doing today? Right, so now I just gotta wait for my cow to grow up big and healthy, and luckily, you only actually really have to feed your cow every other day. I know, shocking, but quick. Doing well, that's good to hear. I'm doing very well, thank you. Yeah, I've seen on the Discord, they all look really good. I especially like the ones of the cows where they've got like the eyes bugging out. I think those are great. But I think the sprites look really good. Yeah, I know what you mean. So actually, since Eludra's just joined chat, I'll talk a little bit more. I mentioned it a bit earlier, but yeah, a little over a week ago, we unlocked a new emote slot, which I'm eternally thankful for because I wasn't expecting it to happen at all. So I think that was amazing. And so we unlocked a new emote slot, and I commissioned Eludra to do the art for the new emote, and she did an amazing job. I think it's an amazing emote, and I submitted it last Thursday, so a week ago today, and it still hasn't been approved yet, which I've talked about quite a bit. I'm genuinely a little bit irritated that it hasn't been approved yet, because I think it is an amazing emote, and I think everyone will really like it. But I thought, whilst the Eludra's here, I'd take the chance just to go show over how amazing that emote is again. I think it was Saturday, I gave just a cheeky preview of it. And for like the people who saw like the snippet of it, they liked it. I really like it. So hopefully it's coming soon. I'm a little bit irritated it's taken already over a week now. But as soon as it does actually get approved, I'll let you guys, I'll be posting about it on Twitter. I'll be hollering from there. Yeah, well, no problem, Yeah, Twitch has been being slow, which is irritating because it's so they recommend, they say it'll take roughly 48 business hours. So when I submitted on Thursday, I was like, oh, okay, I'd like for it to be done on the Saturday, but I was like, oh, it's a bit unlikely because, business hours and stuff, and that probably doesn't count weekends. But then the fact that it's been like a whole week later is a little bit irritating. That's fine. But yeah, and then especially a little bit irritating because I feel like I remember, I think it was close to when they introduced affiliates, and when they allowed affiliates to have emotes. They introduced a system where if you were a partner and you were on good standing terms with your emotes, or just terms of service in general, your emotes would get automatically approved. And they basically, I remember them saying they added this system so that because more people were going to be submitting emotes from now on because of affiliates and stuff, that it would be an overall quicker process for everybody. And that's the thing, I don't remember how long it took me to get my emotes approved when I first became an affiliate, but I think they introduced that system a little while after I did. But yeah, it's irritating because I'm really excited for this emote, and it feels like it's taking forever. No, I know it's ludicrous. It's unheard of. Right, okay, I'm losing way more time than I thought I'd be, but I suppose that's because I'm doing extra stuff that presumably I did in my animal exchange split in my PB. So what I'm doing now currently is waiting for my cow to mature so that I can sell it, because you can't sell your cow in the current state. I think in my PB I would have done this during the animal exchange split. But okay, so my cow is finally a big one. So that means We're about to start the second file. That's something I saw Twitch announced today, was like they're doing their own like what would you call it? Like they're doing their own like streaming. They say like they're doing their own streaming service sounds weird, but they're doing their own like streaming software, I suppose, like their own version of OBS and XSplit. I can't remember what they called it, but I remember seeing something about that earlier today. I think it's interesting, but I probably won't use it because like they said it's kind of like a focus on like newer. It's like they're aiming it towards like newer streamers who kind of don't want things to be complicated. And considering I've been streaming for 4 years now, if they make me change from OBS Studio, I'm going to be confused regardless. But okay, right. So now you may be wondering to yourself, why have I just started second file? What's all that about? Well, okay. So we're about to start doing some funky stuff with time travel, parallel universes, and cloning. Yes, this run is, it's a lot more crazy than you might think. But we go out of our way to marry girls, specifically Ellie. We do a little bit different for the other girls. Okay, so in this game, there is a feature which allows you to trade between two files, and the two file, like, there's like a very specific thing about it, a requirement where they have to be like actual two new like playthroughs. So you can't just have like so I've got like my main file now, so according to to coincide with the rules on the speedrun.com leaderboard for this game, you have to start, you can make as many new files as you want, but you have to start and finish the run on the same file. As in like the same playthrough, essentially. It could be on like a different save space, essentially. But okay, so we'll call that one File A. File A is the one that you start and finish on. File B, the one I'm making now, this is essentially a dummy file. This is just, I won't really be doing much on it, but I need it for other things. So File A, the way trading works is I'm not able to just make like two different files or two different saves of File A and trade between them. The game recognizes that and goes, no, they have to be essentially from a different farm. So that's why I've got this dummy file, because then the game recognizes it's two different playthroughs and allows me to trade between them. So now we get on to how trading works. So, okay, we're trading between File A and File B. File A is the file I currently have the cow on, and my main file. File B is this one, the dummy file. So when you trade, when you finish the trade, it saves whatever your file B is. It saves the file that you're trading with, but not the one you're trading from. It automatically saves the file that you're not playing, essentially. So then it doesn't save the file that you are playing on, because it assumes that you're going to carry on playing and that you'll save eventually yourself. So basically, as long as you don't then save, whatever like state that you started that day in, you can keep. So for example, so what we do is, if we start the day with a cow and then send the cow over to File B gets saved with that cow on it. But then if we reload File A and we reload it with the back to the same day so that we start with the cow, we now have two cows, one on File A and one on File B. And we're basically just able to do stuff, we're just able to take advantage of that to send the cows back and forth, to clone them into, as many as we need, so that we can have a full barn of cows on our main file, and then sell them all for 3000 G each. So I've saved my second file now. I've saved my dummy file, so I can go back to my kind of dummy file on this, and I can exchange animals. Now, so on this file, this is like the main file that I started on, but I've already passed Elli's birthday, so that's not actually helpful. You know, that's not any good. So what I'm actually going to now do is I'm now going to start exchanging the cow back and forth between a save I made of my original file all the way back at the beginning of the game. So all the way back at Spring 4. So essentially now I'm going to have a lot of money very early on into the year. So as you'll probably notice, the more times I'm doing the animal exchange, the more animals I'll be able to trade over, because basically the files are only one file is getting saved each time. So the way I'm doing like the exchanges is each file is saving, is getting saved with more animals. And then however many animals that farm had at the beginning of the day, they're essentially keeping that number when I reload into that file. But okay, so now I've essentially got the perfect amount on each file. I'm not going to be doing much back and forth, because so you can only send 5 animals over at a time. So all I need really is at least 5 cows on file B, so I've got 10 cows now, which is the maximum that you can have. Actually, I might just do a tiny little bit of foraging whilst because now I've got to wait for the farm shop to open so I can sell my cows. But yeah, so I've got at least 5 cows on file B. So whenever I want money in this run now, I'll basically I'll load up file B, send over 5 cows, load up file B again, and then send over 5 cows again. And then once I get the barn expansion so that I can hold 20 cows, I'll do that 4 times instead of twice. And that is basically animal exchange. So this kind of used to be like a bigger part of, like, as I've said, like during the stream, it's like this was basically how we made money for every single girl in the marriage speedruns, up until, well, not up until, because I've still done runs using this method of money making since shipping duplication was found. But I'm almost certain shipping duplication, like if you get shipping duplication done properly, it is a lot faster. But again, as I've said, it's because of how early Elli's birthday is into the game, into the calendar, you're just not able to do it efficiently, which is the word I was thinking of a lot earlier in the run. As a word that I was just completely stuck for and I just couldn't think of, and it was efficiently, if anybody was wondering. But yeah, but it was also, before shipping duplication was found, it was a massive way of how to make money in 98%. You still have to do it in 98% because it's still the easiest way, or one of the easier ways to get like all the animals that you need for the percentages, as well as once you've done the shipping duplication for all of the 100 crops, it's a much easier way to make money after that. but it used to be quite a bigger part because obviously before shipping duplication, where you had to get where you actually had to grow 100 of each crop instead of just one of each crop. It helped to have quite a bit of money beforehand. Okay, so I am losing time here, but, oh well, no. I'm still going to be behind here, but I'm actually going to save a lot of time. It's weird though, because so even though like shipping duplication has like that large discount dead space while you wait for 6 AM to come, and if you fail it, like you end up, you have to do it again. And that like takes time, and it's it's time to fill by doing nothing essentially. This like small bit of menuing where you sell the cows is probably like the most boring part of anything in this game. Because I suppose at least when when you're just waiting until 6 AM, you don't really have to pay attention to anything. You just let the time go. Whereas this is just, it's just very dull menuing. But okay, so we've got the money. We've saved 10 minutes. We're still a little bit behind, but who knows? Maybe we can make it back. Can we? I don't know. This might be like the first Elli run that I've actually finished in like 2 years. When did I last PB with Elli? Right, need to buy the right amount because money does get tight at this point, so you want to buy just the right amount. It says 2 years ago, but it doesn't want to give me an exact date as to when I last PB. So yeah, just 2 years ago is as good as we're gonna get. Okay, so here's an event with Karen that we don't care about. Yeah, so because that's just a cutscene with Karen, we're not too fussed about that, so... And then because it's a Wednesday, I actually can't get Ellie's first cutscene. That's alright. I don't remember anything about Mana seducing Jeff, who's the shopkeeper, because I mean Jeff has a wife and a child, being Karen. Oh, that's a different event. No, I don't think I've ever seen that event then. I'm not aware of it. Oh, it's an event in Friends of Middle Town. Yeah. So that's the thing then. If it's probably not in Back to Nature, I probably don't know it then. So if that's like a Friends of Middle Town exclusive event, then it's beyond me. Alright, so whilst I'm waiting for the carpenters to open again, I'm going to go get some flowers, you know, go pick some flowers that I can use to befriend Elli. Oh shit, done this wrong. Yeah, that's right. I'll stop by the carpenters tomorrow then. I forgot that every time you want to buy something, you have to do another animal exchange. Because obviously I have to sell the animals again. Because I have nowhere near enough money for the next house upgrade yet. That's actually the barn will be closed today anyway, so that's fine. So I just went up and just wasted a bit of time picking some flowers, but yeah, oh well. Oh well is my response to that. Alright, so let's send those cows back over then. Where am I going? Okay. Right. So. Okay. So I'm probably going to lose a lot of time in this split. And right, the reason because I think that'll be is because I think I'm marrying Elli. Well, not later. I'm obviously doing it on the same day. But I think is what I think I would have done in my PB, just comparing to how what my splits look like. Is I think what I may have done in my PB is basically not. I think I wouldn't have bothered trying to get the upgrades basically until her birthday. So like roughly around her birthday time, and then would have been and then I would have tried to get them after her birthday, which is why there's that half an hour gap from orange heart to proposal, because that's actually, because what you should do and what you should be able to do is you should be able to propose on her birthday. So that would mean I probably still did get her to red heart on her birthday, but it just probably meant that I didn't have the the second house expansion. I wasn't able to propose to her because of that. So that'll mean I'll lose a lot of time on this split. All of the heart splits should be they should mostly be like fair and equal. But then the proposal split should be a lot faster. That's how I'm hoping this will all go. So it feels like it's going to be a bit of a toss-up as to whether or not I'll be ahead or behind. But you know, to finish a run would be good enough for me, you know. So a bit more boring menuing, just selling cows. If I could sell cows as quick as you could sell stuff in like shipping duplication, that'd be perfect, but unfortunately you can't. If I could just throw my cows into the shipping bin. Okay, almost done with these cows. Oh, really? I took my finger off of the circle button for like a millisecond, and it was like, oh, you put it back on the circle, that means you wanted to cancel, right? And I was like, no, I didn't, but okay. Oh, no. I mean, I don't want to buy any fodder. No excuse for that, I was just not paying attention. Right. I'll have to buy the next expansion then. So this one's the house, and this one's quite useful because the first house expansion allows you to, it gives you the cabinet, which allows you to store items. It also gives you the fridge, which allows you to store more items, because the fridge allows you to store basically all sorts of edible items. But that's not actually that useful in this because we don't really obtain edible items. So being able to store the flowers in the cabinet is a lot more useful. Okay, well thanks for watching, Toasty. Hopefully I will see you next stream. Right, so now I can just sleep until my house is done. That'll probably be a Saturday, which is a bit irritating because I can't do another expansion on Saturday. I suppose I'll save going into the 13th in case if it's done today, this will be really good, but I don't think it will be. No. Okay. Right, so I need to do a couple of wacky things here because so Elli's birthday is fast approaching. Yeah, and I want to get the first rucksack upgrade for Elli's birthday. So I'm not actually going to do an animal exchange today, but I am going to wait for the shop to open so I can buy the rucksack. I actually can't do an animal exchange today because, well, I could do the animal exchange, but I then can't, I won't be able to buy anything from the carpenter. Because you can't buy from him on the weekends. I'm trying to think if there's like a better way to have lined this up then. Yeah, there definitely is. Like I could have done animal exchange today. I could have still sold all my animals today. Actually, I might. Yeah, I might go back and like, because luckily I did just make a file yesterday, so I can literally like just go back and save over to today. That wouldn't have lost me that much time. Tiny bit of time, but nothing to fuss over. Because yeah, as I said, so I can still sell all the cows today that I can send over, but then I can buy the next house upgrade on Ellie's birthday. But then the reason why I can't send the cows over on Ellie's birthday, or yeah, at the beginning of Ellie's birthday, is because the farm shop Barley's Farm is closed on Mondays, which is when Ellie's birthday is. So yeah, I can't do everything on that day, but so I think this is probably the best way to go about it. And luckily, with it raining, that means I'm able to faff around getting flowers and stuff, and I don't have to worry about going to Barley's farm and getting the horse cutscene. So if you go in the first month of the game, if you go to Barley's farm after a certain time on a sunny day, there's a cutscene that happens where he tries to give you a horse, and it's a waste of time. It's not useful in this run at all. It's not useful in any runs as far as I'm aware. But yeah. But it doesn't actually happen on rainy days. It doesn't happen on rainy days, and it doesn't happen if you basically go like early enough. So if it wasn't raining today, essentially what I'd have to do is I'd have to go straight to Barley's farm and then just wait. Which means, you know, I wouldn't be able to do stuff that would help me later to pass the time. I just have to wait until 10 o'clock. Wait, because it's raining and the cutscene can't activate regardless. I'm able to pass the time by doing actual useful things like going to pick up flowers for Elli. Which actually is making me think I do need to start obtaining, need to start like getting all of the flowers that I need for her, because her birthday is fast approaching. This is all I want for the moment, but whilst I'm in the area, I can also just pay a quick visit to Elli and get her first heart event. There you go. And then just immediately leave. No, I'll do that after. Thinking about going to Barley's farm, but I'll collect more flowers first, I think. But thankfully, because I've got the upgraded rucksack, this will be a little bit quicker. Okay, even though there are 2 flowers still here, it's a little bit better for space if I keep consistent flowers, and there are 2 more moondrop flowers just outside the carpenter's area. Right, so even though you know, this is just because it's I'm doing things a little bit differently, I'm going to go back to comparing against none of my splits, just so it doesn't look so bad. It's slightly distracting looking like, oh, look how bad these splits are, but they're not actually that bad in a way. Yeah, okay, 18, so I need 20 more, so if I do 2 troops on the hill, that would be oh, come on. 2 trips to Mother Hill would be potentially 9, 18, See, that's the thing. 2 trips would be a little bit much. 1 trip, I think, just isn't enough. Because they're pretty much like I don't have to, but I can do 1 trip at the beginning of Ellie's birthday because I have to wait for 9 o'clock to give her any gifts. Yeah, well, I'll pretty much have to make 2 trips to Mother Hill tomorrow then anyway. Like, I don't think I can get around that. Alright, I think that was all of them. Yep, that's all the cows. So yeah, so as I said, I'll buy the barn expansion on Ellie's birthday because I can't buy it today. But I will be able to buy it on Ellie's birthday, so at some point I'll just have to pass through there. Wait, did I get the 2? I think I did. 3, 6, 9, 13, 15, 18. 18, that's 36. So, okay, that's fine. Actually, how many rooms do I have? 33,000. I might have to sell a few things today, just because I don't actually think I'll have enough money to buy the expansion tomorrow and wrap all of the presents. Like, I will be like just a couple, I'm pretty sure I'll be like a few hundred short, which will be irritating. That's the thing, it's more important that I get all of the flowers wrapped than it is I buy the barn expansion that day. Because even though that will cost me time, the barn expansion I can do every other day, the flowers I can't wrap every other day. It's weird though, because for some reason in my notes I used to have it that you'd only have to buy 32. You'd only have to get 32 items. I think. Actually, no. I'm gonna be like 1,000 off because of the expansion costing 31,000. So no, I'm gonna be like nowhere near. Okay, so I can't get the expansion tomorrow then, which is a little bit irritating. And I basically have to sell like another cow at some point to do that. That's like really irritating because I'm off by like just such a small amount. Although actually, no, I thought of a way I think I can get around it. No, I'm not going to be able to do that today. I was thinking of being able to buy a chicken and then do animal exchange with that and then sell the chicken tomorrow, but I can't. Like, if I was able to buy a chicken today, then I would be able to do that, but I can't because the poultry farm is closed on Sundays. I think it would just waste too much time to try and do it on to do it tomorrow. Yeah, sure, just combine them just for easy maths. Oh no, I've got 32. Yeah. Okay, so it is Elli's birthday. Today's the big day. So yeah, so I'm gonna end up bashing out a bunch of splits in in just this one day. So interestingly enough, when I'm wrapping all the items for her, I don't actually want to completely fill my rucksack so that I have a full rucksack and my hand is full. I only actually want to have a full rucksack. So even though you can use like with the big rucksack upgrade, you can carry 9 items altogether, as long as you have something in your hand as well. I'm only actually going to have my full rucksack. I'm not going to have a full rucksack and an item in my hand, just because it makes the menuing easier and quicker when you're wrapping the items. Because if you don't have something in your hand, you can swap out items in your rucksack, whereas if you do, you're not able to do that. So if I had something in my hand and a full rucksack, I'd have to go into like the menu each time. Whereas because I don't have something in my hand, I can just do that. Hey Turtle Wins, how are you doing today? How's the run's been going? Not great. This will probably be the first finished run I'll do today, but this is only the 3rd run, so that's not terrible. So before this, I did a couple of potpourri attempts with the new route using shipping duplication as the main money making method. And the first one, just I just wasn't getting shipping duplication at all. So I just decided that the attempt may as well not carry on, because if I did get it, then it would be used better on a run that didn't already have so many shipping duplication attempts going into it. And then the second one, I just messed up and didn't have enough items. You know, I didn't have the second rucksack upgrade for Popri's birthday, and I didn't have the what's it called? And I didn't have enough flowers either. Right, so usually I split when I leave the room, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get blue heart here. How many more do I plan on doing? This will probably be my last run of the night. So I'm glad that that I can actually finish this run. It may not be brilliant, it probably won't PB, but you know, I should finish it, which is good. Right, so I'll actually split here. So I like to split depending on whether or not, if you get like, because sometimes you can get multiple like hearts in essentially a gift giving session. So if that happens, I'll split, like the first one I'll split when I actually get the heart, and the second one I'll split when I leave the room that I'm in. Yeah, finish runs are always good. I always do like to finish runs. So it's a bit of a shame that I couldn't finish a poker run with the new route, but you know, I'll probably do some more at some point eventually. It's nice to finish an Elli run, because I tried like a week or so ago when I was doing a 98% stream and the run kind of fell apart. I tried to do an Elli run and that didn't go so well. So it's nice to actually, like, you know, be able to finish an Elli run, even if it probably won't PB. It's just nice to finish it. Why is my best for blue heart 22 minutes? That's... I must have gotten her like purple heart, like I must consistently get her purple heart really early for me to get, like, for my best for blue to be 22 minutes. I know it's like the biggest jump between affection levels, because purple is at 5,000 and then blue is at 20. Whereas every other one is a jump of like 10,000, so then green is at 30, yellow is at 40, orange is at 50, and then red's at 60. Oops. Yeah, I know there's already wrapped, Jeff. Double wrap it. Then it's worth more. But yeah, you know, I know blue is like a bigger jump, but I don't think that's like... I don't think that it's then worth 22 minutes. So in case I get green heart here, I probably won't, but just in case I do. Just a single flower wrapped in like 100 different bits of wrapping paper, or you know, it's like an old game of Pass the Parcel, except it's just her playing. And it's like one of those like novelty things where it's like it's a flower but it's wrapped up so it looks like it's like a bottle of wine. And you go, ah, a bottle of wine, and then you open it, it's a flower. It's like, oh, okay. What is this menuing? So actually, something that I haven't talked about this stream, which interesting development happened recently. So my previous 98% run, which I managed to get sub 11 in, it's very exciting. The first sub 11 98% run. I talked a little bit about, and we talked a bit about on the stream and during the run, the possibility of Elli versus Potpourri for the 98% run, who would be faster. And I was saying on the stream that using current strats, they're probably about the same. And they probably take about the same time, about like roughly the same length of time. Because like their birthday, like because of like where they are for their birthdays, they're not like they're not in like similar places, but you know, they pretty much even each other out in a way. But actually, I did some timing on for a different strat, or kind of different strat. So using the pink cap flowers that you grow for Anna for the power berry, basically you can use them as Potpourri's birthday presents, and that saves you on like a bunch of trips down to that saves you a bunch of trips going to Mother Hill. And you're also able to wrap up a few at the beginning of the day. Like, this isn't specific to Potpourri's to using the pink cap flowers that you grow, but you're able to, like, if you wrap up some flowers before, like on the previous day, then you can gift them to her before the shop is open, while she's at the Goddess Spring in the morning. So you're actually able to like save about 5 minutes just on like her birthday alone. By marrying Potpourri, and then I think you save a bit of time. You should save like a couple of extra minutes here and there by not having to go all the way to Mother Hill for all the presents, for all the flowers that you use. So yeah, so the next 98% run that I'll do, I'll be marrying Potpourri instead of Elli. It's all, you know, it's coming a bit full circle because she was the original bachelorette that we married in the run. And also, actually, another slight bonus is you don't have to you don't actually have to befriend her as much. You don't have to give her as many items as Elli, because so the way it works is with the 98% run, in the first year you get both of the girls to 10,000 affection so that they give you chocolate at the Winter Thanksgiving Festival. And then on the second year, whichever girl you're marrying, you get up to 60,000 on their birthday that year. And the way it kind of works out is there's like, I think you do like, if you do like 3 full trips of like full rucksack presents, with both of the girls, like, you're just short, like, you're only like a few, like, you're basically like 2 items off, so you're about like 3,000, 4,000 off 60,000 points, which is a red heart, which is the requirement for marriage. So for Elli, because her heart event isn't great, you're not really able to use hers. Whereas Potpourri, you are. Like, Elli's heart event you can only get 2,000 from, and you need to wait until 12 o'clock for 3 days. Whereas Potpourri, you can get hers immediately, like, the next day. Like, at the beginning of the day, and that's, like, just accepting the item, accepting the egg that she tries to give you, is worth 2,000. Then letting the egg hatch, which is easy and takes pretty much no time, is another 2,000. And then calling the chicken that hatches from the egg Potpourri is another 1,000. So that's, yeah. So that again, like, if you're only like 4,000 or so short after like 3 rounds of presents, then you don't have to do like that extra round of presents. You just have to get her 3rd heart event, which you can't do that with Elli. which I think is why you save like the 5 minutes or so on their respective birthdays. But yeah, so that's so whenever the next 98% run is, prepare to hear that explanation again. And now, of course, I have to update my FAQ to say we get married to Potpourri. But yeah, so that's an interesting development in the run. Okay, here one is going to offer presumably the blue feather. Yep. Which I don't need, so this should definitely be a red heart, but my next split isn't for red heart, it's for proposal. How many do I actually have? I just want to like definitely make sure. No, though I already don't have enough now for the expansion, for the barn expansion. So obviously, you know, spending 800 more G, that won't put me in any better of a position. But I can buy the blue feather now, which is good. So even though hopefully by the end of these presents I'll have, well, I almost definitely should have Elli on 60,000 and a red heart by the end of these presents, because she's at least on 50,000 because she's got orange, because she's got an orange heart, and all these are doing 1,500. So if they're doing just 1,000, that'd be 8,000. But then if you add on all the 500s, that's another 4,000. So yeah, it should be good. But you know, if I were to propose to her now, she'd be like, "But you don't even have 2 beds. We'd have to share," and you know, that's just not allowed. It's not allowed in this town. If people found out, what would they say? Oh, can you imagine, like, the gossip and just the looks we'd get if people thought me and Elli were sharing a bed? No, separate beds. It's got to be that way. It has to be. You can't share a bed with your partner. That's just, ugh. I'm sorry for putting that image in your head, chat. That's disgusting of me. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that, but that's just how ludicrous this game can get at times, you know. So even though, you know, we're both ready for marriage, we gotta, I gotta wait until I can upgrade. I can upgrade this this house. I don't know why I'm giving her an extra gift. I can stop here. Cool. So as I said, I just need to get the last bit of lots of money now. So I need to do 2 more animal exchanges. Yeah, and that'll basically be to get the barn and then to get the second house. I know. It's such a romantic. It's the true guide to a girl's heart is about 36 wrapped flowers on her birthday. Only on her birthday, and they have to be wrapped. But it should be noted, like, so the only flaw is maybe the girl, you know, she won't like flowers. If she doesn't like flowers, you just gotta find out what she does like, and then wrap that and give it to her on her birthday instead. But as long as she loves it, and it's wrapped and it's on her birthday, flawless, perfect plan. Yeah. And you know, and then once you get to that point, you know, 36 wrapped loved presents on her birthday, You know, as long as you have 2 beds in your house, you know, you're set. Right, so I'm going to sell a bunch of cows, and then I'm going to buy an expansion, a barn expansion. Then I'm going to wait till that's done, sell a few more cows, and then I'm going to buy a house expansion. And then once that's done, you know, I'm going to propose. So, farm shop's almost open, so we can sell our cows. Do a little bit of waiting around, and then a little bit of boring menuing. A little bit of slamming the door in Harris's face as well. I like that's pretty much almost the cue for it. Is Harris leaving, and then. And then you just immediately go, "Excuse me, Harris, you know, me first, you know." I think luckily, because I'm selling like a full barn of 10 cows now, I feel like it should mean I won't have to, I definitely shouldn't have to sell a full barn of 20 in a few days, because then that is like especially boring when I have to do twice the amount of selling the cows. I don't know exactly how many I'll have to sell, because I'm gonna be on. Because I was only like just slightly under the amount needed for the what's it called, for the barn expansion. So I'm not going to need to sell that many cows to hit the house expansion amount, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much I'm on after I buy this next expansion, and then I'll have to do the maths from that. Alright, so I need 11,000, so that's only 4, so that's actually pretty good. That's not too bad. We just want to check that. 26,000. No, sorry, I need 21,000. That's 7. That's still actually not too bad. Right, irritatingly, I think he'll be done on a Saturday. Which I'd be fine to do the animal exchange. I'd be fine to sell my animals then, but I can't buy the house expansion then. I need to play a little bit safe and sleep until the Monday. Okay, yeah, I'm fine. I wasn't sure. I thought the Monday was going to line up with the cooking festival, but no, the cooking festival should be today. Yeah. Oh, okay, never mind. I forgot. Well, actually, no, not never mind. Never mind, because I forgot to save, but then I actually can't sell my animals on Monday, so that's completely fine. It's all right. Right, so I only need 7, which, funny enough, I actually think I have on this file. Yes, I have exactly 7. That is actually perfect. That means I don't even have to reload. I mean, really, if I thought about it, I wouldn't have even had to load up this file. So not saving wouldn't have even been a problem. $26,000. So 7 cows will be 21,000, which will be 47, which is how much I need. So that is perfect. It pretty much couldn't have worked out that much better. Except for the fact that I kind of had to do another, like I did actually have to do another shipping duplication, or not shipping duplication, animal exchange at one point, so, but that's fine, because then that actually means we're not that far off. So it's still going to be a little while till I get proposed, but it shouldn't be 15 minutes, I don't think. It's going to be a small bit of waiting here, and then a few days of just going straight to bed whilst I wait for the house to be built, and then a small bit of waiting whilst I wait for the hospital to open, and then I'll be proposed, and then marriage is just sleeping for a week. So whether or not this will PB, I don't know. I've got 14 minutes for it to PB, and so how long does the marriage split take? Because the marriage split will basically take the same amount of time, 2 minutes. So if I can propose to Ellie within the next 12 minutes, we could be close. We can get close to it. I think that honestly this is looking kind of hopeful, but you know, I feel like I've been known to have a bad sense of time judgment on this in the streams and speedruns before, so who knows. I'm optimistic, I think. It'd be nice if you could propose just like, you know, once you buy the house upgrade. Because then, you know, it's like, it's guaranteed, you know. It's like, you know, because it would be ludicrous for us to, you know, the idea of sharing a bed with your partner. But it's like, you know, it's the promise of like, oh, but I've got a second bed coming, don't worry. Like, it's on its way. And, you know, and by the time we get married, it'll be here. Because then that, if I was able to do that, that would save me, you know, having to wait until 9 o'clock for the hospital to open. But unfortunately, I don't think you can do that. I mean, that's something that I've only really just thought about, is the fact that I'm, you know, doing this at a place of work. Like, I think... Well, I don't know. I think pretty much every girl, you go to her place of work. Like, you know, a couple of the girls you go to at the beginning, you know, before work, before they go to work. But it's like Ellie, she's just, you know, you pretty much only see her at work. And then I'm going to propose to her while she's at work. Which I think is especially made hilarious by the fact that she also quits her job to become married. Like, imagine if you did that, if you proposed to your partner at their job, and that was essentially like their that was like their 2 weeks notice was the proposal. I'd say it's certainly a ballsy strategy. It's a ballsy exit strategy. Yeah, wow. And we have not that much money left. Truly is coming full circle, because that's even less than you start with. Yeah, I mean, God should be happy. Like, we're the main source of his income, I feel. Everyone else is pretty much happy with their buildings. That's something I've just thought of that would be like really cool for like future Harvest Moon games. It's like, you know, in like the Animal Crossing games where like the more you'd buy from Tom Nook's store, he'd like upgrade it and get it improved. It'd be really cool if, like, you know, if you could buy from like other people's stores and they'd actually get it, like, they'd get it renovated and like expanded and stuff. I know in like some of the games, like they like get more inventory if like you ship more items, or if you sell. Yeah, it's mostly for like shipping items. But if like the actual like decor changed or something. But okay, yeah. So now that I'm standing outside Ellie's place of work, waiting for her to open, so that I can propose to her, I think this is looking like a PB. This may even be sub 2. Possibly. Potentially. It'll be very close. Obviously checking that menu there was certainly isn't helping, but okay, see ya. At least she's forgot to split. A little bit of a late split there, but oh well. Yeah, it's not it's not 100% yes. It's just like oh, but I'd have to quit my job. I was like, okay, I'll take that as a yes. Then I just slowly hand the doctor her 2 weeks notice, a week's notice, I suppose. Which, like, her 2 weeks notice is just like, or her week's notice, it's just a picture of me giving him the middle finger. Haha, stole your girl, boy. Oh man, we even get to hear a little bit of, well, a little bit more of someone, because we heard it a little bit, tiny bit earlier. Well, not a tiny bit earlier, we heard it quite a while ago, but we heard it as a bit of it all that while ago. We get to hear it again. Yeah, I think this might actually, this will actually be sub 2. Crazy. I have no idea what, oh, I think it's a week, so I think tomorrow should be my wedding day. Actually, I don't remember when I split for this, so I'm just going to split very late. And then fix it later. Yeah, it's when the ceremony begins. So, it's not a 1:59:08. I don't actually know what time it was. I will have to go back and check. But yeah, so that's actually not, you know, that would have actually been a 1:58, not a 1:59, because as I said, I split quite a bit late there. The angles in this game make the event so it really does. Everyone just kind of like, you know, especially the wedding where like I slide towards her, you know. But I mean that's the thing. If you're not, you know, if your wedding, if you're not cha-cha sliding into your first, you know, into you may now kiss the bride. What are you really doing, you know?